Hey, fellow leaders, do you know what this bell is for? It is our wake-up call. The world is shifting at lightning speed. Technology is rewriting the rules. Generations are colliding in values and expectations. And the AI revolution is unfolding that will flip your world upside down. In this storm, the question isn't if the change will hit you, it is how prepared you are when it does. Will you be the leader who panics or who transforms pressure into possibility? Right now, anxiety, burnout, and uncertainty are at a record high. But this is also the greatest opportunity in leadership history. If you know how to lead with clarity, courage, and higher consciousness. That's why we created a super conscious leader, not just to help you survive the chaos, but to help you rise above it and thrive, turning disruption into your greatest advantage. In the age of AI, you don't need to be superhuman. You just need to be super conscious. Welcome to A Superconscious Leader. I am Dr. Adil Dalal. You're watching Now Media Television. Welcome to A Superconscious Leader. Your journey to the pinnacle of leadership starts here and starts now. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Jose Angel Pereira, a seasoned executive and a motivational speaker whose resilience is unmatched. Jose endured 1,775 days as an international hostage and now guides leaders worldwide in a purpose-driven leadership. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jose.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you for having me.
So today, we can understand that many audience members face challenges that feel insurmountable, and it often seems like those hardships will define their lives forever. So, Mr. Jose, can you share your story about being held hostage for 1,775 days? That's about, 5 years in Venezuela? And what was the experience like, please?
Well, the people that doesn't know me, I did a long career in the oil and gas. I began my career in 1985 back in Venezuela in the oil and gas, and in the continue of the career path, I was transferred here to the U.S. in 2012, and it became part of the part of Citgo Petroleum, that is one of the U.S. based company of the Venezuelan country. And I continued my career and finally became the CEO of the company in 2017. That time, there was having a lot of geopolitical things between Venezuela and the U.S., like it's happening today.
Right.
Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. And, they were imposing sanctions and all this stuff. And I was working with Citgo Petroleum, that even that I was a U.S.-based company, belongs to the Venezuelan government. And I didn't feel comfortable. So I was entitled to get retired, and I asked for my retirement after 35 years being in the company. And I was in my retirement mode, November 2017, ready to get retired.
Oh.
I received a last-minute call. I was with my wife in a movie.
Okay.
Expecting my kids to come to the Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I received a call to go to Caracas, Venezuela, to make a last-minute presentation. I didn't see nothing wrong because people always ask me, why you went to that trip? Well, that was part of my job.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I went to go to that presentation. I did a presentation. The funny thing is that I did a presentation. It was a crowd of almost 1,000 people. I was presenting the revamping of a refinery we were doing in Aruba. Standing ovation. Everything was going smoothly. I was thinking, well, what a way to finalize my career, And 5 minutes after, I saw these guards come into the room
My God.
with mask. If you see my book, you can see the faces. They use mask, and well, they accuse us to be American spy.
Oh my God.
They accuse of committed treason to the country and have make embezzlement and a lot of false charges,
Yes.
because we became the victims of the geopolitical thing that
Yes,
was going
exactly.
in that
Yes.
moment, and we became the political pawns, and the negotiation to get us back took 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was how that story changed dramatically.
Mhm.
Being in the pinnacle of my career,
Yes, I
and
know.
minutes after, I was a hostage.
Wow, that is. I can't even imagine the feeling of that, Jose. That is really tough for you, and I cannot imagine your wife and your family. It
And
would be
we were six.
devastating.
We were six
Right,
because
Sitco 6. That's what you
that's
call.
why we became the Sigo Six, because the press they struggled to mention the six names,
Yes,
and they
yes.
decided to put us like a brand. We became the Sigo
Sitco
Six.
6.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so cool. Wow. I don't think anyone else has these kind of stories, right? So I'm so glad that you're discussing this, because there is, in a hostage situation, a human being changes. Your mindset, everything change. And for 5 years is a very long time. So
Yeah.
let's go a little deeper into that. So during your time in captivity, what mindset or practices helped you survive mentally, emotionally, and spiritually?
Well, that's a great question, because I'm gonna say that this has like a evolution process. Okay,
Right.
let's say that in the beginning, and this is something that I talk today.
Correct.
When you go to a situation like this, the first thing that you will experiment is the denial.
Mm-hmm.
This is not happening
Yes.
to me. And this is something that happened to any situation in life. The first thing, because it's very human, you will deny it. This is not happening to me.
Right.
And then comes the acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow, this is happening to me. There is a moment between the denial and the acceptance that is key,
Yeah.
because there is where you will decide if you can move on or not. So there comes that change in your mindset.
Yes.
And this is something that happened to a leader in any situation.
Very true.
In any situation, anybody that's hearing this, if you're in a leader position, you have many times maybe have experimented this.
Yeah.
That is something that changed in your business, or something that dramatically changed, and sometimes you don't know how to handle it.
Correct.
And there's where comes that true leadership. When you decided, okay, this is real,
Mm-hmm.
this is happening, let's move on, and let's see how we're going to deal with this. So this is the first thing. And then comes another process, that is, you accept it, that is happening. How you decide to face it.
Yes.
It can be in a positive way or can be in a negative way.
Yes.
And there's going to be the key thing where you decide to say, okay, this is happening. In my case, I said, I have a family. I have people waiting outside. I'm going to survive this. There's where that comes the mindset.
Yes.
You decide. And this is something that it can happen in any situation in your life,
Yeah.
in the personal life or in your business.
Perfect.
When you decided to say, okay, this is happening, we're going to go in this direction, and you move on.
You made a choice.
You made a choice. It's a very, very,
Very
personal
true.
choice.
Very true. And I know you're a spiritual person. How much of spirituality came into giving you the confidence in getting through this situation?
This is very important, because I was not a spiritual person. I'm going to say it.
Before you were not.
No, I was not. I come from a Catholic country.
Okay.
Venezuela is very Catholic. I was a typical Catholic guy that went from time to time to church, but I was not a spiritual guy. I was very skeptical. I was very ground centered in myself.
Okay.
Sometimes ego,
Yeah.
there are a lot of ego in
As
that.
CEO, you get that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you got it's part of
Yeah.
this is part of the package of being a
Right.
CEO.
Exactly. I agree.
But now I'm in this place thinking first why this happened to me.
Yes.
So you begin to have a lot of anger.
Absolutely.
That's the first reaction.
Yes.
Anger.
Why me?
Why me? Why
Right.
this happened to me? And it takes a time to understand it. And my first year, I was in a solitary confinement. My friend,
Wow.
you can think a lot during a year, a lot, and you begin to revisit your life,
Yeah.
and you begin to see the things.
Very true.
Why I did this? For example, and this is something I'm gonna say very clear here. Sometime when you're scaling the corporate ladder, you begin to abandon your family.
Yeah.
This is very typical.
Yeah.
And my wife, she called me. I never had time for her.
Yes.
I never had time. Hey, I'm busy. I'm in a board. I'm in that. I'm in this. Now I'm here begging for a 1-minute call. So this confront yourself.
I know.
And after 1 year that we were put together, the 6, we found something that for me I think is hands of God, because we discovered we were not friends. So now we're knowing each other.
Okay.
And we discovered that the 6 of us has 30 plus year married.
Wow.
And 30 plus year career.
Oh, wow.
So we had a pattern that's very uncommon. 6 guys choosing randomly with that
kind of background. Yeah.
So we
and they were your vice presidents, right?
And they were my 5 vice presidents.
Wow.
And now we are 6 guys, 31, 32, 37, 35 years married with families there. Oh, that created really a strong bond.
Absolutely.
That created a strong bond. And we begin to read the Bible.
Yeah.
And there's where the spiritual part became, because now you begin to make the fit.
Wonderful. It's probably a way to get you into that right, push you into the choice.
I can tell you, today I see the hands of God all over.
Excellent. How did you endure such an extreme adversity, and how did it shape your understanding of leadership and resilience?
Great question. I always say that true leader is tested when you're pushed from your comfort zone, when the floor is moving, when everything is crumble, is when you're going to be tested if you're a true leader or not. I'm going to say it's something very honest here. In a normal situation, in a normal life, when everything is steady, anybody can be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are pushed from your comfort zone is where you're going to be really tested if your leadership trails or not.
Sure.
And the resilience for me is not only the word. By the way, let me tell you, I was not familiar with the word resilience.
Right.
I never heard about it. When I came back, I began to hear about resilience. And, that's what I did.
Okay. There you go.
But the resilience is really not only falling and bouncing back. It's understanding what happened and bouncing back better.
Yeah.
Bouncing back and moving forward. That's where the resilience comes.
Excellent. Did you ever feel like being Rambo and breaking free and Rambo feeling? Did it come to you at any point?
I believe I never thought that, but maybe not a Rambo, but when we were released, when we came through the prisoner swap, the day we were released, that we landed here in San Antonio in the Army Brooks base, I was landing and going from the tarmac, and my family, I saw them waiting, and the feeling was overwhelming of joy.
Yeah,
that we made it.
Correct.
Because we created during our stay there, after we were put together, what we call a survivor plan.
Okay.
That, by the way, that's the base of my coaching today.
Okay.
Many things that we did there, I put in my coaching. And that survival plan is very simple. There are a lot of things you have to do to keep, establish some routines.
Yes.
Say, having journaling, mindset work, meditation, many things we did. So that plan keep us moving during years. So when I came back, I was really feeling a sense of joy that we made it.
Excellent.
We made it. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Jose. That's really insightful. And I cannot even imagine being in that situation. So, this was amazing. Uh, in what way did you experience transform how you approach, decision making and leading others today? So, how has it changed the way you approach things? You were a CEO, as you said, you had a different way of working. Do you think you have a very different way of working
Oh
now?
yeah. Well, there are two things that are very interesting because my career, for some reason, again, the hands of God all over. I did a career in the international side
Right,
of the company, so always connecting with international joint ventures, s- s- many type of cultures,
right,
So one of the things that always connected our relationship was the human side.
correct.
So I already had that kind of
Right.
ability to connect with in the human side, no matter what type of culture,
Mhm.
race, religion,
Correct.
the human side. Of course, that helped us. But when we were there, that we were tested, we were having incredible changes in that one day we were like this up and the other day was up
Yeah.
because it was depending on how the relation in the negotiation were going,
Yeah.
so that made us to be adaptive,
Yes.
so we became really adaptive to the situation, and so we really developed a strong skill of adaptability.
Excellent.
And today, this is something that I tell to any leader, that one of the key things today is that capacity to be adaptive to the changes.
Absolutely.
This is key in any leader today.
Yes.
Any leader that has the ability to be
Yes.
adaptive to the situation, that is the leader that is
Yes.
going to succeed. Because
Absolutely.
today's world is changing dramatically.
Yeah.
You know what's going on here in the U.S. and international. If
Absolutely.
you're in a leadership position, many things of this can be
Yes.
impacting you. So you need to be adaptive because that's what you're going to transmit to your employees,
Yes.
to your manager, to you, all your staff,
Yes.
and that's what going to keep that companies moving.
Correct.
Other thing that really we developed was a a strong skill of determination.
Yeah.
Determination is something that also is key when no matter what you're going through, when you're determined, you keep going.
Very true.
You keep
Very
going.
true.
You keep going.
Your mindset's so important in this
Yeah.
situation.
Mhm.
So this has been amazing, great story. And again, thank you for being on the show. We'll be right back. Up next, Jose will discuss how empathy and emotional intelligence are essential for conscious leadership, even under extreme pressure. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. Let's continue this powerful conversation. Welcome back to Superconscious Leader. I'm your host, Dr. Adil Dalal, and I'm here with Jose Angel Pereira. In this segment, we're exploring empathy and emotional intelligence in leadership, how leaders can stay compassionate and effective even under pressure. Many leaders struggle to maintain empathy and EQ during high stress situations, making it difficult to lead effectively. So, Mr. Jose, how did you endure one of the toughest phases of your leadership, and how did that experience reshape your understanding of empathy in leadership?
Oh, that's a great question. As I mentioned in the first section, during my career, I already had developed that type of skills because I work with a lot of cultures. I had opportunity to work with
Mhm.
the Italians, Japanese, American, British, Malaysians, Philippines. So,
Okay.
a lot of cultures,
Right.
a lot of cultures. And so you more or less are kind of involved in the way that be
Right.
empathic with this person. But really, I tested my empathy was during that captivity because we were six guys
Yeah.
living in a space smaller than this,
Wow.
smaller than this. Six guys. Picture this: three bunk bed, tiny restroom, a small table to eat, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it. And we stay there years.
Hmm.
And sometimes we stay there months without going out to that fresh air. So you really need to develop some
Yeah.
empathy and EQ because can you imagine how things can go if you don't do that? So
Absolutely.
so one of the things we the six, because we, as I said, we had something in common, not only the 30 plus year married, the 30 plus year career.
Yes.
When you are a guy there in the oil and gas, you develop some kind of skills
Correct.
because the oil and gas is very challenging.
Sure.
You can have in the refinery
Correct.
a fire or a blow up
Yeah.
in a rig. So you're kind of trained, but not this
Not for
type of
this type of
not this type of
situation.
training.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
but but we decided that to become really a strong bond between the six. We were cheering all day long each other. If
Excellent.
somebody was down,
Yeah.
we were immediately, lifting. So this is things that today I talk to any leader. That's exactly what you can mirror that in your company
Yes.
because you can be a leader in your company and maybe you have a good manager, a good manager, but he's a human.
Yeah.
He has a family, he has a life, and
Exactly.
sometimes he can come down. So if you have that EQ to understand that,
Right.
you can cheer that person, and that person will become loyal to you.
Absolutely.
You will create a strong bond.
Absolutely.
So this is something that today I tell people. This for me is the secret sauce in
Yeah.
a company.
Very true.
Created that bond, and that's what a great leader do.
Yes. Yes.
But the
Yes.
people that have been successful is
Yeah.
exactly what they do. You
Yeah.
have a lot of examples in that have been successful creating that bond with the employee, and you create a strong bond,
Very true.
strong loyalty. So these become great places to work.
And I think what you said is so critical is ego and EQ don't go together.
No going together.
Ego, the way I define ego is edging goodness out. That is what ego is. So
Yes.
EQ is the goodness, is the empathy in us, is allowing people, to kind of in their shoes. So this is, you cannot have ego and
Correct.
empathy at the
Correct.
same time. Uh, Nelson Mandela was in the prison for 27 years.
That's a great example.
And I cannot even imagine that situation. But when he was released, I've seen pictures of him with the prison, with the guards, prison guards who were mean to him, who put him into prison.
And they
You know,
become their bodyguards.
and uh, that would be a wonderful empathy example, right? How he changed because he had to be the leader for everyone when he
Mhm, mhm.
came out, and he had to be the president. Did you ever feel empathy towards those who were actually imprisoning you? Or did you have hatred? What was that
Well,
feeling you
well,
had?
well, let me tell you, that's a very interesting question. Even during the evolution of our captivity, we created a, a situation with the guards and even with the direction of the prison. They saw us so focused in what we were doing,
Right,
and they saw us so committed to maintain
right,
yeah, our mindset and doing things and creating the routine. We did a exercising routine, we
right,
did meditation routine. So they saw us
right.
and they began to admire us because one
Hmm.
day the director of the prison came to the to our cell and he said, "Hey guys, from what planet you come? Are you Martians?" He could not understand because he knew that while we were there because of a political
Yes,
thing. So
exactly. You were
they knew
political
that
pawns.
we were not there because we did nothing wrong. We
Correct.
were so they began kind of admire us. So that's last year the negotiation between the
Right.
U.S. and Venezuela were moving on to get a release. Even they begin to give more flexibility. One of the because we were with the political prisoners of Venezuela,
Yes.
high ranked people.
Hmm.
One of the guy that he's a very famous journalist that was with me. He one day he called and said, "Hey Jose, why wouldn't we create a seminar here in the prison?" And we did a seminar.
Wow.
I
In the
did a,
prison.
in the prison. I did a oil and gas seminar
Oh,
in the
wow.
prison. So so I'm not gonna say that we became friends,
Right, right, right.
but you created like an empathy with these
Yeah.
guys, and these guys they begin to really treat us like with authority. You know, they call me Mr. Pereira. No,
Wow.
Mr. Pereira. So they really begin to feel that, and that you create because of the empathy and
Yeah.
because of the EQ.
Absolutely. Awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you. So, EQ is often called the foundation of modern leadership.
Mhm.
How do you help leaders develop EQ in practice?
Well, because the EQ is understanding the others. And I'm going to say something here. You don't, when you have empathy with the people, that doesn't mean that you have to accept them, but
Yes.
you need to understand them
Yeah.
because maybe they can be wrong,
Yes.
but you understand where they're coming from.
Very true.
So now you can handle the relation in a better way
Yeah.
because people have beliefs.
Yes.
People have some religion,
Right.
fundamentals. So you need to understand why the people act how they act.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, you create the relation based on the EQ,
Mm.
and that makes your relation better,
Yes. Absolutely.
because you understand everybody. And again, if you do that, you create strong bonds.
Yes.
That creates really strong bonds with your
With
employees.
your employees. So, Mr. Jose, if you had this experience earlier in your career, do you think your leadership style would have been very different?
It will be different, yeah, of course, because at some point, you begin to get ego.
Yes.
You begin to get ego. I'm here. I got ego. You know, you have all the
The head.
toy. You have a plane. You
Yeah.
have a driver. You have uh, a lot of things that begin to feed your ego. And
Exactly.
that's human.
Yeah. Very true. And in my book, 12 Pillars of Project Excellence, I talk about 5 powers of great leaders. And the fifth power is humility, because as you go higher and you become a better leader, the head expands a little bit more.
Yeah,
You feel you are invincible.
invincible.
And
Yeah, that's so true.
humility is what keeps you grounded and keeps you, really the EQ is humility is part of developing the EQ. You cannot develop good EQ without humility.
In my personal life, I always was humble and had humility, because my father, he really create that we needed to be grounded. So
Yes.
even I did I did a wonderful career. I
Yeah.
did a career that I never stopped growing and growing and growing
Yes.
and growing, and I always try to keep grounded. And let me tell you something, Dr. Adil, that when I came back, I got overwhelmed of people that have worked with me during years,
Mm.
that they were following our situation.
Yeah.
And when I opened my Facebook account, it got overwhelmed of people that began to contact.
Coming.
But I can tell you, thousands of people,
Yeah.
thousands of people that I have worked begin to get to me, and it's because I really believe that I was a good leader for them.
Yeah.
Some of them still, 30 years after, they call me Jefe. Jefe is boss.
Yeah. Exactly. The boss.
They call me Jefe.
How
Jefe.
nice.
So they
Cafe Jose. I love that. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So, how do you coach leaders to recognize and manage their own emotions while understanding and influencing the emotions of their teams who are under stress?
This is very, very important. And today's world is key, because in today's world, the stress always has been there. But today, how the things are going in the world, the stress is much, much
Yes.
higher. So a leader has to really have the ability to be calm and be focused in a stressful situation,
Yes.
and transmit that to their employees. Calm and focus. These two words are very, very key.
Yes. Calm and focus.
Calm and focus.
Very true.
Because when you're calmed,
Yeah.
you maintain the serenity, and when
Yes.
you're focused, you can begin to identify the things that you can control and the things that you cannot control.
Yeah.
So this is very key, because sometimes you get stressed for something that you cannot control.
Very true.
So why you're going to be stressed for something that you cannot control?
Yeah.
You have to monitor it, but not
Yes.
stress.
Absolutely.
The things that you can control, okay, you can go and try to fix it.
Yes.
But having the serenity, you can see the things in a better way, because when you are calm, you can see sometimes the solution that you have in front of you. Sometimes you have the solution in front of you,
Yes. Yes.
or maybe you
Absolutely.
have the path how to.
Very true.
But when you are not calm and you're not focused, so calm and focus.
Yeah.
These two words
Excellent.
are key.
I think the analogy would be, when the water is all stormy, you can't see below.
Yeah, correct.
As soon as it calms down, you can
see,
actually
correct.
see, clearly. And also, the other thing is, when a leader shows anxiety, it automatically affects the followers.
Of course.
They too feel the anxiety because actually,
you do the ripple effect
yeah,
of anxiety.
and there is a neuroscience effect. We have something called mirror neurons.
Oh yeah,
So what you feel, it's actually reflected in their brains, and you're creating that same feeling within them. So when the leader is calm and focused, it changes the followers.
correct.
So beautiful, very well
You
said.
change even the atmosphere.
Yeah,
You change
exactly.
the
The
atmosphere.
whole
Yeah.
culture, atmosphere, as you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Mr. Jose Pereira. Stay tuned. We'll be right back back. Let's continue this powerful conversation. Welcome back to A Superconscious Leader. Loving what you're watching? Don't miss a moment of A Superconscious Leader or any other of your favorite Now Media TV shows, live or on demand, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Now Media TV app on Roku or iOS and enjoy instant access to our full lineup of bilingual programming in both English and Spanish. Prefer to listen on the go? Catch the podcast version of the show right on the Now Media TV website at nowmedia.tv. From businesses and breaking news to lifestyle, culture, and everything in between, Now Media TV is streaming 24/7, ready whenever you are. Okay, welcome back to Superconscious Leader. I'm joined again by Mr. Jose Angel Pereira. In this segment, we're focusing on communication and performance, how leaders can thrive without sacrificing well being. So, high pressure environments can break down communication and threaten personal well being, making effective leadership very challenging. So, Jefe Jose, in high stakes situations, how can leaders balance empathy and emotional intelligence with the need to make tough and unpopular
Okay,
decisions?
that's a great question because being empathic and having EQ, that doesn't mean, as I said, that you accept everything.
Yeah.
Can be moments that you have to take strong decisions. Here is key the communication.
Yes.
The communication is key because when you communicate properly and the honesty, not only
Yes.
communication, the honesty in the communication.
Yes.
When you are honest communicating, even if you have to take a strong decision, you can do it in a way that the people that even they don't be glad where it's going, they can understand why it's coming.
Yes, very
They
true.
can understand. For example, if you have something that you have to do some layout, calling the people, trying to say, hey, this is something that, we're going to help you navigate this. So being empathic with the
Yes.
person, okay, it's a layout, but you're trying to do it in a way that the people feel that you're taking care of them.
Absolutely.
So this is important in any stressful situation that you have the ability to communicate properly and be honest the way
Very
you're
true.
communicating. The people always will perceive
Yes.
when you're not being honest.
Absolutely.
That they will perceive
Yeah.
immediately.
Very true. Very true on
Immediately.
that. So,
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jose, as we close out this segment, could you share with the audience a little bit about where they can find you and also about your executive program which you have, please?
Yes, as I said, we created this program that is called the Unbreakable Leadership Coaching Program. That we did it based on the experience that we went there. So this is something based on life experience. I have this 3 months program. I have a working book that is called Unbreakable Leadership Program. My book called The Unbreakable is coming
Okay.
soon. That is talking about
Excellent.
many things we're talking here. And my book that is From Hero to Villain is the story that what we went through. Where we can you can find me. I have my webpage, joseconnect.com. Very easy.
Okay.
joseconnect.com.
Okay.
And there you can find my coaching, my speaking. I have the podcast. I have the newsletter. I'm gonna do now the
Yes,
show.
welcome.
So we're gonna be a host here in Spanish. So yeah, many things that
Excellent.
you can find it there in my webpage.
So, Mr. Jose, in high pressure environments, communication often breaks down. What is your approach to cultivating authentic communication at the executive level?
Well, I believe that when we mentioned and then the first and the other segment, we talk a little bit about that. Being calm and focused is key. Being honest in the communication,
Yes.
and try tonight to hide.
Yeah.
Because when a leader is honest and transmit that honesty, the people will perceive it. When
Yeah.
you are hiding things, the
Yes.
people will begin to, feel that something is
Very
wrong.
true.
Something's
Very
wrong. So it's key. It's not easy, but being calm, a leader can transmit the things properly.
Perfect. So, Mr. Jose, today, work life balance has become a big issue for a lot of leaders. What do you encourage people to do in those kind of situations where work is, really very demanding, and obviously family is also pulling on them? What is your advice for them?
Well, that's a great question because my coaching is based on that.
Okay.
My coaching has the motto that is a regaining balance between your business and your personal fulfillment,
Correct.
because this is something that I lacked. I missed.
Right.
I'm being honest that in the past, I was so focused in my
Okay.
career that I was missing my family.
Correct.
And when you have this situation that you have time to reflect, is
Yes.
that you feel that a leader has to have a balance between the family and the
Absolutely.
business. If not, you are not gonna be a good leader. A good
Yes.
leader has to have that balance, have time, and you can have time. You have to delegate.
Yes.
You have to set priorities. You have to categorize the things that really matter and the things that you can,
Very true.
and take time for your family.
Excellent. Excellent, Mr. Jose. So communication becomes very difficult when emotions are high,
Mhm.
and stress levels, as we said, can be also playing into this. How have you managed situations where when emotions are high, either in captivity or in leadership situations? Give us an example of when you had to manage communications
Oh,
during that.
well, in a captivity, can you imagine during years living literally like in a closet, six guys?
Yes.
The probability to have problems was very high. So we always said, anybody is going to something, raise the hand and say, I don't like this. So let's vote
Perfect.
and correct this. And this is something that you have to do in your company too, in
Very
your
true.
business. Sometimes you don't take the moment, that take the pause and said,
Yeah.
hey, this is something wrong. Let's talk about this. This is something that leader has to do, because
Absolutely.
because if not, the things will be keep going, and then comes a crisis.
So, could you give us an example of a leader who has changed the communication style and work life balance? And what lessons can they learn from this adaptability as you talk about?
Well, I always talk. There is a guy that I always admire. That was Steve Jobs.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
really admire him, and well, he had a style of leadership that, well, I admire because he created that culture in his
Yes,
company,
very true.
and he died, but he left something that is his legacy.
Very
He
true.
left the legacy.
Yes,
That's what the great leaders do. They leave a legacy.
legacy. That is what I talk about, is live a legacy to leave a legacy, because that is exactly, he lived it
Mm.
during the years, and now everyone is following it. And
Yes.
Apple is one of the biggest companies there is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, Jose.
Mm.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Next, Jose will share insights into leading with purpose and humanity, showing how leaders can inspire rather than just manage. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. we're back. Let's continue this powerful conversation. Welcome back to A Superconscious Leader. I'm here with Mr. Jose Angel Pereira. In his final segment, we'll explore how leaders can connect purpose and humanity with daily operations to inspire lasting impact. Many leaders feel disconnected from the meaning in their work, focusing on tasks rather than inspiring people and creating an impact. So, Mr. Jose, many leaders today feel disconnected from meaning in their work. How can they realign leadership with purpose and humanity?
Wow, this is a great question because it has to do with even your spiritual connection. People lack to, and I'm not talking about religion. I'm
Yes.
talking about a spiritual connection.
Yes.
That really you need to connect to it with your spirituality and go back to that, because there is where you will discover your purpose, your real purpose. When you make that connection and you find what is your real calling, sometimes you're in the wrong place.
Yes.
You can discover that you're doing the wrong thing.
Very true.
Many people have shifted their career because
Yes.
they discover that they wanted to be a singer or I don't know, whatever. Do what you feel you have to do, but do it intentionally and do it and do it following
Yes.
your calling. There's where you're gonna connect with the people,
Very true.
because the people will know that what you're doing is because you're doing because it's your calling,
Exactly.
and that will make you a great leader,
Purpose-driven leader. Right?
purpose-driven leader.
And I am pretty sure you know about Viktor Frankl, who wrote, Man's Search for Meaning. He spent 3 years in 4 concentration camps and came out of it, and he created something called logotherapy, which is finding the meaning in what you do. And that is so important today in
Let me
leadership.
tell you what is my connection with Viktor Frankl.
Mhm.
I was like maybe in the 3rd or the 4th year of our captivity, and I said we were with political prisoners,
Mhm.
and we were with military political prisoners too.
Yeah.
Militaries. So I had with me my neighbor in the cell was a high-ranked general,
Okay.
high-ranked 3-star general, and that guy had a lot of incredible background. Well, this guy, even though he was a political prisoner, they respected him because he
Right.
was really a high-ranked guy, and they allowed him to have a lot of books.
Sure.
So his family brought him a lot of books. One day, this guy came to me and said, "Hey, Jose, you had to read this book." It was a tiny book,
Yeah.
not so big book, and I saw Viktor Frankl,
Oh,
Man in the
wonderful.
Search for Meaning. I
Yeah,
had the
but favorite.
opportunity to read it in prison.
Wow.
And when that guy was talking his experience, the guy was talking to me.
Yes, exactly.
He was talking to me.
Very true.
Talking to me, talking about finding purpose in the pain,
Yeah.
and how you can find a meaning. How he discovered why the people survive and why some
Yes,
don't
some
survive.
could not survive.
Well, that's it. So I became big fan of Viktor Frankl.
Yes.
By the way, 1 month after I came back, I did an interview, talked about Viktor Frankl, and Anderson Cooper of CNN. He heard me and
Okay.
he interviewed me.
Oh,
You have
wonderful.
to see my interview with him.
Excellent. I think I've seen it.
Because he's a big fan of Viktor
Yeah.
Frankl.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Viktor Frankl.
I'm
too.
today.
He's amazing. I've written about him in my book. So
Oh, I had
Yes.
that also. I did
Yes.
a podcast
Okay,
talking about
wonderful.
him.
that he really has found. I mean, I think your stories are similar from what I mean. Obviously, it's not the concentration camp, but you know, being in captivity is a totally different experience, and not
Let me
many
tell you, but
people
we
can
were
say that.
literally in a concentration camp because these guys applied techniques
Techniques from
that
there.
they can't come from
Yeah.
concentration camp.
Wow.
Things that we were suffering. I read in his book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, how can leaders give me an example of how you have changed your perspective for leading with a higher purpose more consciousness, a higher consciousness.
Well, as I said, that when you find your purpose, that you whatever you're doing is because it's your calling. Is you have to do it so intentionally that you want to leave your legacy. When you're working from your heart, trying to leave your legacy, you will do it because you will pursue no matter what circumstance you're going through. Because life will always bring challenges.
Yes.
Always. And if you're in a business, the business can be going well and sometimes can be going bad. But when you have your purpose very clear,
Correct.
and you no matter what circumstance you're pursuing that dream you have, my friend, you're gonna be unstoppable.
Very true.
You're gonna be
Very
unstoppable.
true. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very true. Thank you very much for sharing that. How can leaders create lasting impact that goes beyond the financial or the KPIs and the metrics we put in place?
As I said, trying to leave a legacy. The persons like you mentioned, Nelson Mandela, or Steve Jobs, or many persons in the history that you find that they live their life trying to leave a legacy. And when you
Totally
do it,
believe that.
when you do that, try
Yes.
to leave a legacy. Today, I really want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm doing today is intentionally
Yes.
because I want to leave a legacy. I'm thinking, for example, I'm going to begin a nonprofit very
Yes.
soon. I envision my grandsons in that nonprofit.
Yes. In that.
In that profit.
Amazing.
So this is something that when you begin to visualize things that way, and you talk about neuroscience, neuroscience has confirmed the things that already you can read in the Bible.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
what has is confirmed that the observer can change the reality.
Yes.
And so if you
Yes.
intentionally do
Absolutely.
the things with that perseverance, you're going to change your reality.
Yeah, I've written a book on this. So
okay.
visualization, power of visualization,
yeah,
the V
of course,
factor.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I am totally, in sync with what you were saying,
Okay.
Jose. Okay, so last question. What advice would you give a leader who is just starting off in the career to lead with a higher purpose and a higher consciousness? What are the steps they can take to start doing that?
Well, the first thing is that you have to, as I said, understand if what you're doing really is what you really want to do
Yeah.
first. That's the first thing, that you're in the right track. When you are in the right track, you're gonna have a dream.
Yes.
Pursue that dream
Mm-hmm.
and never stop.
Very true.
Never stop, because that's what is the resilience.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be falling and failing, my friend. Stand up and keep moving. Keep going.
Very true.
If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot
Yes.
walk, crawl. But
Yes.
keep going.
Yes.
Keep going.
It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up is
Yes.
the key thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
excellent advice and very profound. Thank you, Mr. Jose. So, Jose, this has been just incredibly valuable for the people and for my audience. Where can people follow you and your work and continue this conversation?
Well, as I said, I have my webpage called joseconnect.com, www.joseconnect.com. I'm very active in LinkedIn. I'm very active in Facebook. I have my YouTube channel where I do my podcast that is called Building Resilience, and I'm going to be a host now in Now TV in Espanol. Okay, so you're gonna be hearing about me, and I always talk about leadership and resilience because that became part of my purpose in my life.
Awesome. Excellent. Jose, thank you for sharing your insights and your remarkable personal journey which you have, and very practical insights for my audience. So your story reminds us that resilience, empathy, and purpose are not just leadership traits. They are lifelines during adversity. To our viewers, remember that leading consciously is about balancing performance with humanity, making decisions with integrity, and inspiring those around you. Reflect on what you have learned today. take intentional action, and lead with purpose in every area of our life. This has been a super conscious leader. I'm Dr. Adil Dalal. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time and continue the journey forward with conscious, impactful leadership. Remember, in the age of AI, you do not need to be superhuman. You just need to be super conscious.